Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Star Enlightenment Channel. Back with another video again, of course. Another good, interesting live. A good live. Feed your soul, feed your spirit with knowledge and edification. That's spiritual food, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into it today. As the title says, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about different types of bodies in different worlds. Now, I'm not going to try to make this too long, but I do want to get in depth, at least a proper, pure understanding of what I mean by that. But understand that there are different types of bodies in different worlds. So let's use right now in Earth, right? So you got Earth, right? We're in Earth. We have these type of bodies. We got arms, legs, feet, hands, fingers, toes, noses, two eyes, foreheads, hair, feet, legs, knees, all that, right? And that's our alchemical makeup, or that's, let's say, our alchemical structure, and that's our makeup, right? Our DNA print. But what you gotta understand is in different worlds, it don't necessarily always play out. Well, really, in different worlds, it don't really play out that at all. But the closer you are to this space, since this space deals with this exact structure, then the more likely that there is that even if you are in another planet or another world that's close to this space and this system, the solar system, there may be more similarities to it because it's still relative to space. Now it is going to look different because even if every space is close together, they may all share similar traits and characteristics, but they all are still in their own space. So every space is unique. Not one person is the same. Not one spirit is the same. Not one space is the same. You see what I'm saying? And when you go, but whenever these spaces or these worlds are relative to each other, aka they're close to each other, they're not that far away. They're like neighboring worlds. There's usually some similarities in some shape or form. Um, so you might find bodies that may be close to us that may not be that far from us, like actually other Earth realms that have the Earth element, of course. Those bodies and those worlds may kind of be similar to us, but they're always going to be different. But they may share like they like in the subconscious community they call these like dragon-like beings. I mean, I'm sorry, dragon-like bodies because we're like serpent-like. Like the way we're built. Like this is why Earth is known as Gaia, the snake goddess. Look up by Gaia. Gaia, Earth is Gaia. That is the being. That's the mythological being that we technically live in, and it's a snake being. That's why you don't look at it, but a lot of us, everything about us is similar to snake. Like we got long arms, our fingers are long, our leg, we have legs, the way our bodies are structured, we're like snake beings, and we're very dragon-like. You know what I'm saying? In different ways. But there's other worlds that are relative to this space, not too far from this space, that they have other beings where they have serpent-like bodies too. Like a lot of Palladian systems, they may favor some serpent-like bodies to an extent. Not to get into the specifics of different ones, but different bodies, the different realms or worlds that are close to ours, that have the Earth, that have an Earth world, Earth realm like us, they a lot of times have other that bodies that are snake-like too, because we live in this one big snake constellation. But there's multiple other snake constellations out there. You got Hydra. Hydra big as hell. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I believe we live. They don't be telling us what exact constellation we in, but I believe we're like in like the Draco constellation, which is why everything is snakish here, and then everything is trickled down. But there's other snake or serpent-like beings too. Like I said, like Hydra. That's a big ass snake. Like that's a different level shit. And since it's a water snake, it's possible that a lot of beings in that constellation, to some extent, deal with the water element, aka they like to utilize their emotions and feelings. They like to utilize their vibrations. But they're similar to us too, in the sense of, like I said, the way we made. Now they may have either. I'm gonna say, since Hydra is bigger, I believe, than Draco, but Draco big as hell too. Don't get twisted. We not small, but since the Hydra constellation is big as hell and bigger, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of times with Hydra, those beings that live there, even though they have snake-like beings, like we have similar body structures to us, but they may be more expanded, or they may be more developed, more evolved. Most likely, they might even f around and be able to fly in there, but we don't get that far. But I'm just saying they might even be able to, they got probably way much more abilities and traits than we do. We only go so far with what we have, and as evolution and humanity goes on, we evolve more, we adapt more. At one point in time, our bodies didn't even look like this. That's what people don't know. Over time, the bodies slowly developed and changed into the way that we are, due to also planetary rotation, star rotation, and all that stuff. But Not even to really get into that per se, just the understanding the evolution of humanity has changed over time. And in those other worlds, like I mentioned, that are similar to us, they may be in a situation where they may share a lot of percentage levels of looks to us, but nothing to ever look exactly alike. They have their own representation of themselves. They might have a lot more even to them than we do. You know, it's probably night and day how us and they look, but at the same time, if they're still under the serpent energy like Hydra, or there's some other ones too. I think like is it Lyra? No, Lyra's a lion. I could be getting confused, but I know Hydra is a snake, but that's like the water serpent. But if they're like any serpent being like us to any extent, then they're gonna share some traits, even if it's on a small percentage of it. They're gonna share something. But here's the thing: different worlds have different bodies, so you might be in a world where they don't have nothing the same like us. You might be in the realm, and the further out you go, that's the further you're going relative to this space. So you're not relative to this space no more. So the further out you go, the more awkward you would think the bodies look. AKA really just means more different the bodies look. You see what I'm saying? Um, and there's different bodies that they don't even look nothing like these bodies at all. They don't look like these bodies at all. They don't operate like these bodies at all. They don't function like these bodies at all. None of that. So you got to learn to, you know what I'm saying, really understand these things because they don't operate the same at all. Now, existence is existence, aka there's always going to be a sense of form of duality, individuality, aka you being aware of yourself, individuality, duality, you being aware of others, aka connection or the ability to participate with the world or participate with others. And everybody does their life, accordingly, yes. But other than that, different worlds make up different things. Don't get it twisted. Just because you see everybody getting a job here now and working it, it's not that beings don't do that in other realms. But they don't. But it's not the same thing. You won't even be looking at it the same. So anybody trying to tell you about worlds where it's just like here, and beings are getting money, beings that yes, that exists in the sphere realm. Don't get it twisted. There are worlds out there that actually exist like that, and their currency is different. It's not even based upon actually physical money. It's energy. So in that realm, if you want to be rich, well, I'm gonna say in these particular worlds I'm talking about, but really that kind of does go out in all realms of realities, but in different ways, and I'm gonna get into that. But first, I'm gonna talk about the realm of realities that do favor us in the function of talk about jobs and currency and exchange. Because in order for a realm or in the spirit realm, a world up there, to even have these traits, that means we was birthed from that world. So that's still relative to our space. Because as above, so below. If everything comes from the spirit realm and the spirit, then that means if you see if the spirit came first, right? So if there's a world out there that's a spirit in the spirit realm, a realm that deals with exchange and currency and buying or some form of job and getting it to get their 1 2 1 2, just like you see us, then that means they came first and we are birthed from that realm. AKA we got that from them. But that also means here, don't stop there. That means we are also relative to that space, or we are in the same space, just in a lower dimension. And they plan that out in this realm, but in a higher dimension. That's why I say if you hear somebody say that, it's not that they wrong, but don't get lost into that like that's the all be all because that's just this realm and this space. So yeah, you may have sinned. It's not even no if and or buts about it. You may have sinned. You also be in a situation that understanding that that's just this realm. So don't get it conflicted with all of totality, all of reality, because different realities consist of different things. Some people that spiritual. Hold on 1 second. My nose. Hold on. I'm blowing my nose. Hold on. Some people that spiritual, that's not from this world, that's a star seed, might have been to other worlds, either farther out worlds or just other worlds in general. That some other star seeds that maybe not be from this world haven't been to. So y'all both share similarities. Y'all star seeds. Y'all not from here, so y'all may see certain things similar. But that one star seed that's not from here, they unique. They not like here either. Just like you, y'all both unique. But the spaces and travels, the travels and spaces that they've traveled in and shipped in and literally experienced life on in those realms may be very different than the realms that you have been. So they can never fully debug. Knowledge is always going to be knowledge. Everybody has their own perspective. There's truly no right or wrong, but there's only perspective. Um, because if you put everybody's perspective together, you'll get the full piece of the puzzle. That's why everybody's perspective does count. That's why everybody's perspective does matter. But more importantly, understanding that Don't ever let nobody feel like, oh, they just so much up ahead of you. Because although a person could have more knowledge and more broad knowledge than you, understand that your perception matters. Because the world and chat, if you were starseed, you will know that if you, you'll already know that you'll already be into this stuff to understand that if you really was in the first. I only have to break it down to you. That just means you're not from here. You're from another solar system, another space and location, not from this earth realm. And ain't nothing wrong if you are from here in general. Even if you are from the earth realm, ain't nothing wrong with that. But understanding this, right? Don't ever let nobody try to make like themselves look down on you because they feel like they know more. Because you might be and have been in certain worlds, or even if it was one or two, you might have been in certain worlds that they might have not experienced. That don't make you better than them. That don't make you more knowledgeable in totality. That don't make you better, more powerful. But that's just a food for thought and understanding that you might have been through a realm reality or two, or so, or whatever. How many that they might have not experienced, and then vice versa. They probably been in realm realities that you have been in, that you can learn from them. But you can always learn something from everybody. And if anybody's trying to shoot at you like, oh, this and that, they're the all be all, they got the highest knowledge and they can't learn from nobody, they're bullshitting you and they're not fully truly spiritual. They BSing you and they're using a form of ego to try to be above everybody. Be wary of people like that. A lot of times they do be speaking good knowledge, but they be having ulterior motives behind them. So so you have to be careful because they'll get swept away. That's how it's easy to sweep. That's like a Lucifer. It's easy to sweep a person off their feet like that because you don't already reel them in because the devil never gives you a full lie. The devil always gives you some of the truth. I'm just giving an analogy. The devil is the concept of how they try to make it in religion doesn't really exist. But they are certain beings, but it's not about good and bad. But that's besides the point. But understand, it's always going to give you something that's negative or evil for you. It's not always going to give you some of the truth. It's not going to give you a full, complete lie. And then they'll sink you in because they told you some truth, they told you some truth. Then you get lost into it. And then you finally your guard down, then they can get you because you've already opened yourself up and put your full trust into that person. But you can not learn from everybody, but don't get lost, aka don't get encapsulated in somebody else. You think that they're the only way. That's when things start getting tricky. You can look up to somebody; they could be a favorite person. That's fine, but never don't get lost. Always, never get too attached. Always realize that okay, this is just good knowledge. Don't take everything a person say like they're God. Even me. But knowledge is knowledge. You can learn. You can learn and you will learn. You know what I'm saying? And it's beneficial. But understand that though. You might have traveled out further than another person, been to other roads that they haven't been to. So don't let them look down on you. I don't care who it is. How much of a subscriber following they got. But back to what we were saying, right? Understanding, yeah, different realms, different. There's certain. So, and like I said before, if anybody trying to tell you about currency, I'm gonna end it off here. But if anybody trying to tell you about, oh, there's worlds out there where it's just like here, they go get currency, they go, yes, but it's different, and they're talking about still this space. So that means that they've been lost in this space for probably eons. If you were in this physical third dimension of this realm, and you done been to this same realm, but in the spirit realm, in the fourth, fifth, sixth dimensional realm, aka the higher realm, that's what they talk about, the second heaven in the Bible, the astral realm, the spirit realm, the dream world. If you've been to those higher realms, but still been in this space, that means you've been in this cycle and routine and pattern for eons. That means, especially if you're a star seed, that means you probably rarely ever been to back where you from and where you supposed to be as a spirit. So that's kind of, I hate to say it, but that's kind of like a holistic spirit. And no spirit remain demonic forever. No spirit remain angelic forever until they reach that haven in the spiritual realm. But everybody has the ability to change. A person could be a positive spirit. A person could be a negative spirit. What's positive to you may be negative to somebody else, and vice versa. But realms play out differently in different worlds. Whether you talk about in the physical 3D realms, and you know what I'm saying, and whether you talk about in the spiritual realm itself, in the higher dimensions. And if you hear somebody always say like, oh, in the spirit realm, it's similar to like people do bargaining game systems, people exchange. Yes, that's true. But like I said, in certain realms, every realm don't participate in bargaining game. In order for you to have bargaining game system, that means that like I said, that dimension that you're talking about, even if it is higher in the spirit realm, that means that it's still relative in our space because we carry out the energy of building and bargaining, gaining, and money in exchange. But there's other spaces in the spirit realm that don't deal with bargain and gain the same way that we deal with bargain and gain like that. AKA for you to survive, you need a bar. every realm in the spirit realm don't deal with that. There's some farther out worlds where it's not even like that. Like, don't get it twisted. It's all gonna be a form of currency and energy, but it's not looked at the same way like that. Like, there's certain worlds where everybody kind of got their own, and so if people want to exchange, they choose to exchange. But it's not like, oh, I need to exchange in order to make it. Oh, I need to bargain a game with you so I can survive. That's some Lord nature shit. So yeah, they may be going on in the spirit realm in certain worlds and certain realms and certain spaces, but not all spaces of the spirit realm deal with that type of shit. Not all worlds in the spirit realm deal with that type of shit. There's certain worlds in the spirit realm that be further out or whatever, but they don't deal with the same bargaining game system. Um, of, oh, I'm gonna give this to you because this will make me better, and I need this amount of currency to survive. No, everybody don't gotta pull and drag from everybody all the time. There's certain worlds where everybody can just is just already lit. Everybody already got their own source, and so everybody in the situation now where they pick and choose. If I want to exchange with you, I can choose to exchange with you. If I don't want to exchange with you, I can choose not to exchange with you. Now, the bigger a person is of a source, the more energy they, and internal energy and chi that they have, and the more bigger and broader their spirit is as an actual source, the more source they have. They people may look more up to them in the sense of utilize things and stuff for them as a light and as a source, so that they can make their orb bigger and get bigger. Or a spirit with a big source can they could choose not to give that life off or shine that light off to nobody. They could keep their own light, and they won't even be looked at like nothing wrong with it. And if they want to give it, there may be certain people that they may be comfortable with, that they able to give it to their closest people in their family, their spirit family, and feel comfortable with them. And there may be certain people who will be like, I'm gonna just keep it in the family, I'm just keep it in this small group. I don't want nobody else to get it. And there's some people that might not want to give it out at all. But either way, a person can always change. They could choose to do this one day, another thing. But understand that every world don't deal the same way. The same way what I say with the body structures. Every world does not look like this the way we look. Some worlds don't have hands. I hate to say it, but and you might hate it, but some worlds don't have hands. Certain realms don't have feet. Some realms don't have legs. Some realms don't have arms. You see what I'm saying? And certain realms, all you might have is a head, but it's not even looked at like this, like this. See, I don't understand. That would be your whole body. So when you get to the concept when the Bible we talk about like ophanims and stuff like that, and different beings like the one-eyed beings, those be examples of those. But that's farther down the line. Y'all probably can't even. A lot of people can't even conceive that type of stuff because they just not under. They can't even conceive the smaller Lord spiritual stuff, the lower dimensional stuff. But yeah, you gotta understand that every realm deals with different things. Every realm has a different structure, different bodies, different alchemical makeups, and how what kind of bodies they have. Different realms have different type of ways of living. Every world don't deal with this whole bargaining gain system here and all that stuff like that. Some worlds it's not really about bargaining gaining and working a job and making ends meet to survive. Some worlds is everybody already is their source. So what they choose to do is what they choose to do, and they not in a state of survival all the time. They're in a state of actual life, actually living. So when everybody's in a state where they don't have to worry about survival of the fittest and making it all the time, oh I don't get this in order to survive, they're no longer in that lower nature of survival anymore. They're in a higher nature now. They vibrating much higher. So it's I can't even go into depth and perception on the dimension on the higher dimension level of what they do in those type of worlds that don't deal with survival. Because at that point, once you don't have to deal with survival, it's so much more stuff so you can do. It's so much more creation you can build. It's people out there building their own worlds and creation in those realms. It's people building their own creation, but building the creation, utilizing their source, but for others. AKA, a lot of people using their source for really their own soul tribes, their own soul groups, and their own spiritual families. Because a lot of people, it's not that people don't share in that realm. People do share in that realm, and some people genuinely give up. But a lot of times they be trying to give that to like kindred spirits. They don't be trying to get at to just anybody because they know people still have the ability to take advantage. But a lot of times it's a much more lighter density and lighter realm reality. So you can always get the bad bunches out of the bud. You can't have light without dark. You can't have good without bad. But people don't have to feel like they have to do those things as much. So people can still do effed up stuff, but they may do it in other ways. You see what I'm saying? It plays out so much so interesting in those realms. But yeah, but you gotta understand that. You know what I'm saying? And that's important to understand, yeah. Um, yeah, I got a crazy ass nose here. Hold on. This shit crazy as fuck. Damn. My fault, y'all. But I gotta straighten that shit out. Didn't know I had that bitch. But anyway, hold on. That shit got this long out of nowhere. That shit started just hanging out. But anyway, let me get back to it. But yeah, I got a nose trimmer. But anyway, but yeah, you must understand that and stuff like that because and then ending it out, not all realms are the same. Not all ways of life in every world works the same. If a person trying to tell you, oh, in the spirit realm, they bargaining against you, that is true. But and it's a possibility to do that in different in many realm of realities, but that's not necessarily a full concept in every realm of reality. Every realm of reality don't need to bargain the gate, is what I'm saying. So if they saying, oh, it's just if they saying the spirit realm is just like here, aka people are bargaining, gaining just like they are, getting a job just like that. That it's not that that's cap, but that they're talking about a specific realm of reality, and that's a fact. Whether they want to get mad at you and argue with you that you don't know what you're talking about, all that. I can't help how far that they traveled out. You see what I'm saying? They might have not went as far as other places. And if you really start shit, you should know different things. But I ain't even trying to get into that. But because that's another video. I ain't trying to get into that. That's just leave me rambling and baffling forever. But certain realms don't even deal with that at all. You know what I'm saying? It deals with totally. They're not even in a survival state like that in general. Everything they're doing is more so from a higher nature. They don't even have to worry about survival as much. So they're more so on. Now negativity still exists. Things still happen, and a lot of times those negative vibrations may be in a different correlation that a lot of y'all might not even have seen before. Before we even start trying to make up and speak on it, there's a lot of vibrations negative because a lot of times those farther outer worlds deal with other emotions and feelings and vibrations that they're not in our spectrum. These rainbow lights that are in our spectrum that hit our eyes before it hits the UV and then it goes into the infrared, all that, the stuff we can't see. All these colors are tied to vibration. You only aware of certain colors because they actually are. Every emotion you have is a color. So all the color rays that you can see with your eye, those are the emotions and vibrations that we carry. That's why they talk about the seven deadly sins like anger, grief, sadness, joy. There's only a certain amount of emotions and feelings that we can feel here to an extent. To an extent. You know what I'm saying? That the average person experience in general, that you experience in your everyday life. But in those higher, farther out realms, there's certain vibration that they in that you never probably even felt before. And then vice versa, even with the negative start, the negative part of those. There's certain negative vibrations that y'all are not aware of that y'all haven't experienced. So it's not like it's all peaches and cream, but there's certain negative vibrations that y'all haven't even experienced yet. That, to be honest, some of them, a few of them might be even worse than you've experienced here. So you gotta be strong, but at the same time, in general, it's a different realm of reality. So you can choose kind of like if you want to get lost and experience some of these things like what you manifest in your life and all that. But like I said, and it is looked at differently. It is looked at differently here. It's not as holistic as this realm per se. Like it's in the higher frequency, so things may move at a faster pace. But once you in that realm, you're not necessarily looking at it like that per se either. That's like you. We're living life in a way much faster realm than a blood cell. A blood cell life lasts what like less than a day or something, probably less than that. But to us, they look at us like damn, you got these long year all these years life, and but our life is moving much faster. They would think, but guess what? It's not like that to us because once you in the body, you in that body, you're condensed and consolidated in that body. But that's a different video too. But yeah, understand that things don't even play out the same. The energy of sex and intimacy don't play out the exact same in those realms. There's always going to be a certain level of correlation that you can correlate, but the farther out you get, the less correlations you have. The farther out you travel out in many different solar systems, farther out there, farther from the space that we in now that we're familiar with in this Earth, the more weird or crazier or more wilder it'll seem, the more out there it'll seem. You see what I'm saying? And then, yeah, so pretty much I'm in there with that. Yeah, I just understand that, and that means the more different the bodies will look, the more different the bodies play out, the more different the bodies um function. They don't function the same. Like how we piss. I'm not gonna say like cuss words, but the way we piss, poop, and all these different excrements. Nah, bro, that don't exist in every realm. That don't exist. That's some snake-like being. It's like when they be talking about the subconscious community. That is true. There's a lot of truth to that stuff. To those to that group. I bump with it, but like how we got these bodies down here, not every human reality deal with those same things at all. Some bodies are more internal, aka we harness energy. You choose to eat, but you already much of a source. You don't even need to eat like that, but you can. But eating certain things can help you build more of a source. You see what I'm saying? And since it's more of a metaphysical reality, that's what I be meaning. Like these are things that you could choose to do. It's not like, oh, I have to bargain again. I have to do this for survival. I have. It's not a I have to situation. You choose to do these things, and some of these things that benefit you. This is telling me that they time for your own spirit, but you can utilize these things. And when you wanna eat, cause AKA like you'll eat like a lot, like in those realms, a lot of times you eat different things. Like every world is different, but like a lot of times in spirit realm, things spirit eat is like information, emotions and feelings, light, aka like imagination, um, vibrations, all that type of stuff. And there's terms that go far, even farther out that y'all not even aware of. But they eat those type of things. You know what I'm saying? And but it gets to a point in certain realms where you don't need those things to survive. But let's say when you choose to indulge in those things, it's not a right and wrong, and they can benefit you, aka they can grow your orb bigger. You can get more powerful, but you're choosing to do this. And then if you do choose to continue doing it, you doing it and you still happy. It makes you feel good. You know how to have as much moderation with it. You know how not already not to let it get a hold of you and let you go down a negative path because you've let it control you. And then you could grow off that and you can have fun because you know you're not attached to it in the first place. And there's plenty more of it to come. And that's a much more blissful reality, a much more better correlated reality than this. I don't care what nobody said. This is a survival of the fittest realm. There's always going to be negatives, yin to yang to yin. But this is a very low realistic, I have to add realm. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to be in a situation where you have to work a job. You have to make this much amount of money or you won't be able to sustain yourself. You have to become a source or utilize another source here that's already here in order to get by and get your one too. And you know what I'm saying? Make money. You have to do these things to be secure. But in other worlds, you don't have to do anything, really. Some worlds, you really in your own world, really like that. So what you want to manifest is what you manifest, but it's not even looked at the same way here. Like it's normal. You still living your regular day-to-day life, but it's looked at in a different lens. It's more internal and without. Than here is without and within. Like AKA, if I don't have this, if I don't have this physical money externally that's outside of me, I can't survive here. Whereas there, it's like it's more internal in you, so it's more internal without. So you become a source and you survive by what you already have inside of you internally. And if none of these things are good or bad, or I want to say better than the other, but understanding different cycles of life is important because it's crucial to understanding existence and what reality you may be going to. Now, if this is so far fetched from you and you can't even grasp anything, you're probably gonna be reincarnated in 1,000 more times. You know what I'm saying? 100 more times, taking these different types of bodies. You're gonna keep taking bodies. But if you real dumb and you don't understand none of this, you think I'm just talking baffling, this crazy old hippie or something, some old drugged out weed head hippie, then you really gonna have like 1,000 more lives. You gonna live this life again. Probably your next life probably gonna be holistic. Then you gonna live, depending on what kind of state of being you in. If you in a positive state of being, then kudos to you. It'll help you out. You'll manifest probably a better life circumstance. But you'll be in a situation where you'll live many lives. You'll get a little bit smarter like your next couple of lives. You'll probably be in more experiences. You'll learn a little bit more. You'll jump in, so you'll probably gonna learn more things, hear more things, more hands on. You're gonna hear things from this person. You be taught a lot of stuff. You're gonna learn a lot more, and then eventually you're gonna keep living lives. Then you're gonna start to actually know a little bit of something in life. You're gonna have more thoughts because the bigger you get as a spirit, aka the more lives you live, the more thoughts you start to accumulate, the more thoughts you start to have in life. AKA a more developed mind or a bigger, broader mind for abilities that you can have. Because you'll be in so much stuff, and once your spirit gets such a certain size, if you never go fully down again, you're gonna be born again. Eventually, at different times, you become awoke at different ages, but you're gonna be aware of similar information that you was similar aware of before. So you might get into art, you might get into something, so you'll be slowly expanding yourself, and then eventually you live so many lives, but you might not be as them at all. You might actually be somewhat on to something. You still may not be perfect. You may not be like some intelligent genius, but you'll be in a situation where you'll be like, man, I bet this is like this, and you'll be able to make sense. People will still look at you as smart. And then after a couple lives after that, depending on how fast you expand, because if you choose to constantly put yourself in a lot of physical experiences and consciously, purposely seek out knowledge, then that's how you expand your spirit fast. So, but however you do it, okay, you live a couple lives, you learn some more. Then eventually you'll actually get real intelligent. You'll start having a higher thoughts for other stuff. You'll maybe still be in this world, but you'll actually have an eye out there. In other words, in AKA, have more of a yearning for more knowledge, or be like, man, there's definitely something more out there. You know what I'm saying? Or you'll start to have a broader mind. You won't think it's narrow no more. You'll be in a situation where even if you are kind of still lost into earth and you're not necessarily spiritual, but eventually the bigger you get, you're going to have those type of thoughts to some extent. Even if you don't look at spirituality from an astrology, dimensional type of level, like a deep spiritual level, higher knowledge per se, you still going to have more thoughts out there like, oh, this could be more than, you know what I'm saying? But overall, your mind still going to get broader. So you're going to be finding out, trying to find out more ways to get money. You're gonna be trying to find more ways to get money. Like, and that's if you lost here. But AKA you just lost it to the world. It don't matter, your spirit is still getting brighter. And then eventually you're gonna reach some last couple lives, some last stretch of lives where you really do probably start seeking either higher knowledge, more knowledge, or you start just trying to if you still lost it to the world, that's fine, you still gonna get bigger, this is spirit. So you just gonna have a broad mind but here. So you gonna be real big into like trying to either spread a business, you might become a celebrity eventually, or you might become somebody that's well known. You might be just, you see what I'm saying? You're gonna be into a lot of different ish, and then you'll start to finally understand. In that last 1 to 2, 3 lives, then you'll really start to be more knowledgeable and understanding what's going on about you. You might even actually start having spiritual thoughts and stuff like that, and start conceiving certain things, and possibly even yearning for that actual knowledge yourself, and not being dumb and being like, oh, what is this? You'll have a broad enough mind to have more understanding, and you won't be as lost into like a lot of different stuff, or look at it like it's only one way that things can happen. You see what I'm saying? But that's pretty much how that go. And with that being said, I know I took a lot of time, longer than I thought, but I'm glad y'all. I was here to make the video. I'm glad y'all here. It's like that, learning knowledge. If y'all got any questions, put them in the chat, in the comment section, and let me know. I'll definitely get back to you with that video at some point soon. And much love to y'all. Peace, y'all. I'll be back. I can't make any promises, but I'll definitely probably be back soon because I'm gonna try to get out some more videos. I got a lot of videos to come up with. Y'all bear with me, stay with me, stay strong.